Okay, think about this. Elevators. We hop in and out of them every day, right? Barely give them a second thought. But have you ever actually stopped to wonder what happens if one gets stuck? Yeah, it's a common fear, but behind that fear is this whole hidden world of incredible science and meticulous engineering. So today, let's pull back that curtain and see how it all works. And this is the big question, isn't it? It's direct, it's a little scary, but it's the exact question that safety engineers are working to answer every single day. And the really cool part is they don't guess, they calculate. For most of us, getting stuck in an elevator is pretty much a worst-case scenario. But for the engineers who design and maintain these things, it's just the starting scenario. It's the baseline from which every single response is carefully planned out. And that's the key thing to get here. What feels like a moment of pure panic to us is actually a complex problem for an engineer to solve. They don't see chaos, they see variables, they see systems, and they see procedures. It's all about shifting from a reactive mindset to a proactive one. So this brings us to the core of what we're talking about today. If you want to manage an emergency, you have to be able to measure it. And that is exactly where the formal method for calculating elevator evacuation time comes into play. Now, what's really interesting here is the specific wording. It's a calculated period that models a scenario. This isn't just somebody with a stopwatch making a guess. No way. This is a sophisticated simulation, and it's designed to predict the time needed for a safe rescue under very specific conditions. So, how in the world do they actually do it? Well, the process is super methodical. First, they assess the elevator itself, its size, speed, capacity, all its safety features. Then they simulate all kinds of emergency scenarios. What if it's stuck between floors? What if the power is completely out? And finally, based on all those simulations, they determine a reliable evacuation time. It is pure data-driven safety. And this quote just brilliantly illustrates the entire point. This calculation creates a clear action plan. It takes that terrifying, unknown what if of getting stuck and turns it into a manageable, procedural what's next for the rescue teams. But here's where it gets even more interesting. A perfect plan on paper is one thing, but the real world, well, the real world is messy. And that's why engineers have to account for what they call operational inefficiencies, all the messy, unpredictable factors of reality itself. This slide shows that critical difference between theory and what actually happens. I mean, in an ideal world, communication is instant and the machinery works perfectly, but in reality, there can be delays, malfunctions, power cuts, and you absolutely have to account for human behavior. The best safety calculations are the ones that actually plan for things to go wrong. Crucially, these aren't just afterthoughts. These variables are built directly into the safety calculation from the very beginning. Engineers are modeling everything: the time it takes for a rescue crew to arrive, the odds of a door jam, and even how human panic can slow things down. It's all about making the model as realistic as humanly possible. Okay, so we have this incredibly detailed calculation, and it even accounts for all these real-world problems. What does that actually mean for you, for building safety, and for the emergency responders who show up? It all comes down to this. This calculation is an absolutely vital tool. It informs building codes, it shapes the emergency protocols for first responders, and it gives everyone involved a clear, predictable timeframe to work with. It literally replaces panic with a plan. And the difference is huge. As this chart shows, planning without this data is basically just hoping for the best. It's high risk. But planning with this calculation, that allows for managed risk. And that means better preparation, more efficient rescues, and ultimately a much, much safer outcome for everyone. So the next time you step into an elevator, maybe you won't just see a metal box. Maybe you'll see the invisible blueprint of safety, the meticulous calculations, and all the engineering that's working behind the scenes to turn that scary what if into a manageable what's next. It's something to think about, for sure.